And then what I find when you have had a good sleep and you do get up and you do some movement, you tend to want to eat better, right?
Welcome to the Healthy Celiac Show. I'm your host, Belinda Whelan from belindawhelan.com, and here you will learn to live your very best life with celiac disease. So we are going to be talking all about health-related topics because you, my friend, are more than just a woman with celiac disease. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode, and welcome to the show.
So on today's episode, I want to introduce you to a concept that I like to call the roll-on effect. So the roll-on effect is basically a number of factors lead to the way you feel each day, okay? So it doesn't matter in which order these go, but they are basically sleeping well, eating well, and moving well, all right? So think of it like this. So when you sleep well, you then eat better and you move better, which makes you feel better. But even if you mix up the order of that, so let's just say you eat better, you move better, then you sleep better, which means you feel better, and so forth. So what this means is you start with one of these three, okay? So let's just think of sleeping. So for me, I know when I've had a rough night of sleep, I find that the next day, I find it hard to move. I find it hard to focus on eating well. So that has that roll-on effect of not feeling well, of not feeling better, right? So I have a 2-year-old and sometimes we still have rough nights of sleep and she'll wake me up multiple times through the night. And I just feel like rubbish the next day and it just hits me for 6. I need a good solid sleep to feel great. And I find that it just has that, just that flow on effect where I do find it really hard to get up in the morning and make a delicious, nutritious breakfast and to focus on eating well during the day. I just want to grab what's easy and what's quick, and I'm not too fussed about the nutrition side of things because I'm just hammered. And there's days where I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning and take my husband to work, which is an hour and a half round trip, and I'm usually wrecked for a couple of days. And I find that in those few days, that same again, it just has that flow-on effect that I feel absolutely trashed. So that's the opposite of what we're talking about. But the positive side of this is no matter what, no matter how you're feeling, no matter where you are in life, if you are in a slump and you feel that you just can't get motivated and you can't feel better, you might be feeling down in the dumps with the situation that's going on around us at the moment. Things are crazy. We've never really lived through anything like we are at the moment ever in our lifetime. And I think it is hard on a lot of us. And, if we're not focusing on these 3 areas, then it does get us down. If you're focusing too much on what's going on mainstream media, then perhaps that's making you feel, really down and, making you anxious and feel stressed and all of those things that you don't need. So, you might want to focus on starting with one of these steps, and then that will have that flow-on effect to making you feel better. So if sleep is something that you can easily get more of, you don't have a 2-year-old waking you up, but it's a matter of just going to bed a little bit earlier or, turning your phone off that little bit earlier so that you can get a restful sleep, or, meditating before sleep, or listening to a meditation app before you go to bed. A number of factors can help you get a better night's sleep. If you start with that, when you wake up in the next morning, you'll find that it's easier to get up and feel good and perhaps go do some exercise. And when I say moving, that's what I mean, movement, exercise. So you might find it easier to get up and go for a walk, or do some morning stretches, or go do a yoga class, do something that you love. But if you've had a rubbish night's sleep, that's the last thing you feel like doing, right? And then what I find when you have had a good sleep and you do get up and you do some movement, you tend to want to eat better, right? So you've done your exercise. The last thing you want to do is undo all your great work by eating rubbish. So it has that flow-on effect that it makes you want to eat better when you've slept well and moved well. So you eat better food, right? So obviously we need to focus on our gluten-free food, and I assume that you're doing that to the best of your ability and 100% of the time. But we're talking about healthy food here. So we're talking about eating well, eating healthy food that's going to not only help with the way that you feel, but it has that flow-on effect as far as, what's going on within your body, not only with your mindset, because food can affect the way your mind works. It can help so many factors within your body as far as, talking long-term things, heart disease, all of these different things, Alzheimer's, arthritis, all of these different things can be factored in to also the way that we eat. So it has such a wonderful flow-on effect. Now, maybe sleep is not somewhere where you want to focus on getting more of because of whatever reason. So let's start with movement, right? Maybe you're the type of person that knows you need to do some exercise and you'd like to focus on that first. So what I'd recommend you do is work out what type of exercise you love to do, right? Don't do what you feel like you should do, because when you do what you feel like you should do, you're less likely to want to do it. My husband has always been on at me that I should do CrossFit, and I personally could not think of anything worse. I think it's an awesome fitness for many people, but it doesn't suit me or my personality. I need calm. I need things that nourish my body, and I don't find that type of exercise is up my alley. So for me, things like walking, yoga, gentle stretching, things like that, that's my type of exercise. So find what works for you. Don't do what other people tell you should do. Really hone in on what works for your unique body, because then you are more likely to want to do it and enjoy it. Okay, so once you've discovered which exercise you like doing, then from there, it's going to have that flow-on effect that we're talking about. So from there, you're going to want to eat better. You're going to want to go to sleep better. I'm going to say that. No, that doesn't really make sense. You're not going to want to go to sleep better. You're just naturally going to sleep better. That probably makes a little bit more sense, because when you get your body moving, you just naturally have a better night's sleep. So I hope this helps. I hope this gives you some ideas. This is just a little bit of a different angle tonight. I just wanted to give you some ideas on how to help you feel better, because I know at the moment there's a lot of people that are struggling with a lot of mental health issues and a lot of, coming to terms with what's going on in the world. And I think we need to rein it all back in and focus on our health, focus on within. And these three main areas in our life can make a massive, massive difference to our health overall. So I'm going to post some pictures on Instagram so that you can get your head around these three key factors. So keep an eye out for that on Instagram. And if you have any questions, please shoot me through a DM on Instagram. And I would love to also hear if you have any ideas on what you'd like me to talk about on this podcast. So please send me through those ideas as well. Now, if you haven't signed up for my weekly newsletter, you can do so over at belindawhelan.com, and you'll grab a free copy of my book on there. So go ahead and do that. And I look forward to talking with you guys again next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. If you enjoyed this episode, head to belindawhelan.com to get yourself a free copy of my exclusive ebook, 11 Mistakes People Make Going Gluten-Free Living with Celiac Disease.